We earn money, save money, and buy things. Living beyond the economic cycle is impossible. What trends are dictated by world markets and how does it affect consumers? Watch it in People and Economy. There are businesses focused on the improvement of lives of other people and only after that on getting profit. So-called social entrepreneurship is gaining popularity all over the world. The new generation of businessmen builds playgrounds and sport fields and teaches pensioners and disabled people by giving them a chance to earn money.
В 2011 году на Всемирном форуме социального бизнеса авторы насчитали
In 2011, at the World Forum of Social Business, more than 90 formulas of social business were found. Nonetheless, everyone concurs that the difference between social and traditional businesses is the presence of a social mission. Social business is created for poor people. There are two types of social business. The first one is a business run by the poor. The second type is a profit-based business which offers services for the poor, including educational services, nursery schools, nursing homes for the elderly, and everything related to the social sphere.
Дома престарелых, то есть все, что связано с социальной сферой.
In Kazakhstan, this type of business is only gathering pace. However, even now we can observe some successful examples. In addition, the experts say this area of entrepreneurship can solve various problems, including ecological. Currently, there are 15 social enterprises in Kazakhstan. Their main sphere of activity is the work with socially unprotected groups of people, as well as with young people and children. They open rehabilitation centers, small sewing workshops, bakeries, and many others.
Есть проекты, которые реализовало общественное объединение «Шанрах». В Алмате и в Астане мы создавали мини-центры для детей.
There are projects implemented by Public Association Shaniraq. In Almaty and Astana, we established mini-centers for children from poor families. In these centers, everything is for free. Gradually, these institutions were becoming social businesses and started to gain profits.
За 10 тысяч своего ребенка оставить на полдня с утра до обеда или после обеда до вечера.
Much attention is also paid to disabled people. Nowadays, special taxi services, automatic folding ramps, employment services, and so on.
Это общественные организации по защите прав инвалидов, это женщины, есть такая организация «Шарах», общественное объединение женщин-инвалидов.
There are also public organizations specializing in defending the rights of disabled people. For instance, Public Sharak organization helps disabled women to find a job. Kazakh Society of the Blind and Kazakh Society of the Deaf spend their profit on purchasing of new machines under the project Green Town. In Astana, a workshop was opened where baskets, cat houses, sofas and armchairs are made.
Плетут из подручных материалов разные изделия, в том числе, допустим, корзинки, домики для кошек, диваны, кресла.
According to experts, the uniqueness of such entrepreneurs is not only in solving social problems, but in the establishing new forms of business, as well as applying of new technologies and approaches. The role of the internet in this process was not unimportant.
И вопрос в том, что за счет интернета, за счет сегодняшних технологий, все эти процессы...
Modern technologies and the internet simplify all these processes as much as possible. In nowadays, it has become very easy to create a project and gather money online through cards, mobile accounts, and by other means. The process of project delivery has also been simplified. This is a great help for us.
Проекта. Поэтому вот для нас это хорошее подспорье сегодня.
Sultan Janbey has been thinking about starting a social business for a long time. His membership in Enactus student organization helped him to implement this idea. First of all, he went to Russia to learn social entrepreneurship. Later, he returned with a business plan in mind and in the firm belief that his project would be successful. He fully supports the proverb, if you give a man a fish, he is hungry again in an hour. If you teach him to catch a fish, you do him a good turn. This project is focused on people with a third degree of disability. Before that, they stayed at home and could not find a job because for them it was difficult to walk. We helped them and taught them accounting. Currently, their customers are private entrepreneurs and owners of small shops. For them, they do tax reports. Training courses last 1.5 months at one of Kazakhstan's largest universities. Everything is free of charge. A minimum wage of project participants is 10,000 tenge, Sultan says. Customers are found through social networks and advertising websites. It would be fine if they had at least 10 customers each. In this case, their monthly salary will reach 120,000 tenge. The primary activity of social entrepreneurs in Kazakhstan is manufacturing of goods such as furniture, clothing, food products, construction of playing sports grounds, education, professional development, consumer services, repairing of household appliances and footwear, as well as development of ecotourism. Social entrepreneurship in Europe has been practiced for several decades. Competitions of social business projects are held there since the early 2000s. In some countries, entire associations have been founded. For instance, in Germany, this area is widely supported by the state. Entrepreneurs in Europe mainly focus on the assistance in employment, housing and education. There, such initiatives are strongly supported. There are more funds, people are more disposed to sponsor social projects and social businesses. There are consulting and supporting tools when people back up social projects, not only with money but with their knowledge, working as volunteers or council members. They help to develop business, strategies, projects and many other things. Social entrepreneurship was supported in Europe for the first time in Italy. Even a special law which regulates this activity was adopted 10 years ago. According to the most recent data, the number of social organizations in the country reaches almost 500. The most popular are ecological projects. Furniture is made from wastes and old bicycles are repaired. One of the enterprises in Verona, on the basis of the local prison, opened a workshop for manufacturing of eco-products. The experience of the UK is another successful example of social entrepreneurship. There are more than 60,000 enterprises which employ 800,000 people. Restaurants are being opened throughout the country where young people are taught the art of cookery. And in Edinburgh, a largest company which runs a hotel and manufactures soap employs patients with psychical disorders and finances their training. In fact, people with disabilities can be subjects of social entrepreneurship. There are a lot of projects which involve disabled people into various educational projects with further employment. I witnessed myself many times when handicapped people established their organizations which have nothing to do with people like they. In our days, social entrepreneurs in France closely cooperate with young people. Their objective is to turn sports against crime. They give teenagers a chance to visit sports clubs. Special attention is given to residents from suburbs. For example, a football championship for children from problem districts can solve a number of other problems. This is an example of how sports make people healthy and hardy. In other words, any social idea bears a number of changes. Agriculture is another area which attracts interest of social entrepreneurs in France. A number of domestic enterprises teach the unemployed to manufacture organic products. They're united into small farms which grow ecologically clean fruits and vegetables and already have regular customers. In many Asian countries, the development of social entrepreneurship began relatively recently. For example, in China, a special fund for supporting of this business was established 9 years ago. The main emphasis is put on the innovative solutions in the battle against poverty. For this purpose, social businessmen are given grants. Along with that, the fund has established a university for students from rural areas. The popularity of social entrepreneurship in India is increasing from year to year. Many problems of the local population are being solved owing to such types of business. The main spheres of activity are the development of agriculture and empowerment of women. Social entrepreneurs produce food and power-efficient equipment, dispose wastes, manufacture organic products, construct education centers, and render medical services. In normal and healthy communities, there are always socially aware people from the upper and middle classes who assume problems of the poor and try to solve them. This is an advantage in comparison with the state support because they can respond to any, even inconsiderable changes and offer solutions which are more adapted for people. Social entrepreneurship in South Korea is considered the most developed in Asia. It is strictly controlled by the state. The category of socially oriented enterprises includes companies which manufacture products, offer services for vulnerable groups of population and children, as well as strive to preserve forests. In addition, such organizations obliged to spend 2/3 of their profits on social projects. In return, the state subsidizes them and covers expenses for salaries during 2 years since the date of the establishment of the company. In the US, there are 140,000 social enterprises. They specialize not only on services and goods for people with low incomes, but are actively involved in environmental, educational, and art development campaigns. Firstly, this is an innovative activity. Secondly, this is a business activity. Thirdly, this can be an activity similar to a social mission. Fourthly, this is a wide-scale business. And fifthly, it is self-sustained. Social entrepreneurship in the US makes up more than 6% of GDP. As a rule, it gives jobs to unprotected groups of population. Thus, one American company employs drug addicts and at the same time participates in their rehabilitation. Moreover, such employees are provided with housing. Every little bit helps. Nowadays, more and more projects of social entrepreneurs are concentrated in the internet. Thus, one of the most popular platforms has been developed in the US. Its aim is to eradicate poverty. Under this project, anyone can give a loan to those people who want to implement their ideas. For instance, a poor family plans to buy a cow in order to earn its living on selling of milk. The purpose of another internet platform is to help craftsmen. It allows to buy unique craftsworks and gives professionals a chance to earn money. And there are many more such examples in the World Wide Web. Financing of social ideas is called crowdfunding. The global crowdfunding market is rapidly growing. This is proved by research results of international analysts. In 2014, the market exceeded $16 billion, and in the last year, it reached $32 billion. Experts believe that by 2020, it will make up $100 billion. How to establish a company which would not only yield a profit but also benefit the society. There is a great many of projects related to social entrepreneurship. Launching one's own business requires the development of a business plan. According to experts, its main criteria should be the social mission, innovativeness, self-sustainability, and of course, business approach. There are several ways of getting a loan for launching one's own business. For a start, experts advise to participate in various competitions under social projects. It is also possible to find an investor, take a loan in a bank, enlist in a state support program, or win a grant. To protect people of Tanzania against poverty by means of financing, teaching law and business trainings, decided Victoria Kizombi. She established a company which offered micro-leasing services to women to enable them to start their own business. Currently, more than 50% of people in the country earn less than $1 per day. Thus, more than $20 million have been allocated under this project. More than 200,000 women became its participants.